I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, I want to do a quick video blog on the current state of the downtown Vancouver condo market because, as I've often said here, there's kind of two worlds of condos, and I'm seeing some interesting things kind of happen here with some new luxury stuff coming online here in Cole Harbour recently that I'm seeing that's been selling actually at very high prices here. And then I want to tell you, I don't do this often, but I do see some decent opportunities right now in a certain segment of the downtown market here that I'll kind of give you some vague ideas on. I never get into specifics on my blog here, as you guys know. If you're interested in more, you can always drop me an email here and I can give you a bit more information on it. But a couple of things I want to point out here. I've noticed there's a couple of luxury buildings that have recently come online. One in Cole Harbour on Cardero Street. Really nice building, high-end building here. And I've been a bit surprised actually. These have been selling. So this building just got occupancy here the last month or so. And so these are people that have bought pre-sale back probably three and a half years ago, are now putting them on the market as tangible units. Now, of course, there will be a second set of GST on these. Who pays for that is all negotiable. I'm not privy to who's paying for that. We don't know. In most cases, I would say the new buyer is paying for it because the seller, when he took keys, paid the 5% GST. Generally, when you list these, when I do, I'm looking for the buyer to pay that GST. If it's, remember folks, if it's less than a year old and that owner has never lived in it, you're going to be hit with a second set of GST. But again, you can write it into the contract. It can be negotiable. But I just saw one here. I saw a couple of these hit this week. But here's one on the 9th floor facing Georgia Street. So, it's not like it has ocean views or anything like that. Pretty top dollar here. This sold in 26 days. It's 718 square feet, one parking for $1,055,000. So I'm pretty certain you're talking another $60,000 in GST on that. And then you've got your PTT, of course. So, we're talking, off the top of my head, about $1,600 a square foot. And now I've talked about this before. This is going to kind of be the norm prices here for a lot of these newer buildings that are coming online in downtown Vancouver. And remember, this isn't on the north side where you've got some water and ocean view. This is a city view on Georgia Street for $1,600 a square foot, 9th floor. So I can tell you in this building, there's many that are listed up over $2,000 a square foot. And surprisingly, they're selling. But this is kind of the two worlds of condos, some of these really high-end buildings, and then what I call kind of the premium stratas that I'm always selling into. Market's still pretty good for those. Then you've got kind of that, I don't know, I'll call it that kind of homogenous zone there. Kind of a lot of cookie cutter condos. Some of them are older. Some of them, aren't in the greatest locations, busy streets, busy intersections. Some of them might be older, so the stratas have got some issues, maybe some insurance issues as well. Hugging up on bridges, poor accessibility, that kind of thing. That market is showing signs of softening for sure. Now, I want to tell you though, I don't often do this. I don't really ever promote my own listings, but I'll tell you where I see some pretty good value, and I happen to have a unit for sale in a building in the West End right now. There's also two other units very similar to mine. These are studio units, but they're large studios, 560 square feet. So, these are bigger than a lot of, current one-bedroom units out there. We're seeing one-bedroom units at 510, 520, 530. This is 560 square feet. So this is a large studio. No parking. But this is in a grade A building in the West End. 9 years old, built by Concert. This is a very, very good strata, folks. One of the best. As a matter of fact, I've had probably 6 or 7 sales in this strata in the last 5 years. I actually lived in this strata for a short period of time, for about 8 months when I was building a house and needed a place while I was building. I lived in this strata when it was brand new, and it's fantastic. Grade A building, good builder, 24-hour concierge, nice fitness center. This particular building, these lower floor units, these studios, are kind of a lost leader. They are by far the cheapest unit in this building. This building has many $4, $5, $6 million homes in the estate level here. But the next step up from these studios is a 1-bedroom with parking around 630 square feet. Now you're getting into the high 700s. Typical 2-bedroom in here is running 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. So it's always nice to be the cheapest house on the block, and that's what you are with these. Now, the building has air conditioning, very nice finishings, Liebherr fridge, Miele appliances. It's a fantastic strata. It really is. You are not going to find anything in this price range, and the price range on these is under 600K. As a matter of fact, we're talking now 570 for 565 square feet. So we're talking $1,000 a square foot, no parking, but a grade A concrete building, 9-10 years old, concierge AC. In my opinion, good value. These units, these smaller studios and junior 1-bedrooms, have been a little harder hit with the COVID, because these units are very desirable for students that want to rent it for a year or two while they're going to school. They're pretty desirable for contract workers that are looking to rent a place for a year or two. A lot of these units, not just in this building, but I'm following other ones similar to this, a lot of them were furnished rentals, 6-month, 1-year furnished rentals. So that market has been especially hard hit. The contract workers, the students, because COVID has shut all that down. So what's happened here, and maybe some of these buildings, I think too, were maybe Airbnb or even shorter term rental, 3-month furnished rental. That market's been especially hard hit. So I'm seeing a bit of a glut in these. And the particular building that I have a listing in, there's 2 others, 3 total, and that is almost unheard of. Normally, you might get 1 or 2 of these selling every year. To have 3 at the same time is kind of unusual, and I'm noticing this in a few other buildings. So, in my opinion, the prices have been softening on these, and there's some pretty decent value out there right now. The problem is, though, of course, if you're an investor, these units, I can tell you, unfurnished, were getting $2,150 a month, $2,150 a month last year. Now, with the current COVID lockdown here, you might have to put a tenant in there, cut your rent down to $1,900 or something. But if you can buy these at under $1,000 a square foot, which you can, for a grade A building with air conditioning, 9 years old, high-end appliances, 560 square feet, in my opinion, pretty good buy. Buy it, put a tenant in there, maybe for a little bit of a reduced rent, but COVID is going to end. At this time next year, I have a feeling the rental market will be much different. As a matter of fact, we might have a flood, a dam effect here where everyone starts flooding in again, and watch those rents on these lower or smaller square footage units start to go back up again. But, when you've got a unit on the 9th floor on Georgia Street selling for $1,600 a square foot, nice building. Listen, this building in the West End is not much below that. Sure, it's 9 or 10 years old, but every bit as good as far as I'm concerned in the finishings. High-end appliances, concierge, AC at $1,000 a square foot. I don't know. I think if someone were to buy a unit like this, keep it for 10 or 12 years or longer, keep it long, I think you're going to do quite well on these when you can buy a quality unit like this at $1,000 a square foot. So good opportunity there. We'll see, maybe the winter brings an even better window. But for now, as long as the border is shut down and we've got quarantines on travel, these studios and junior 1 beds have been a little more hit here because of COVID. Inventory has come up, prices have come down. Pretty good buying window, but again, you've got to buy the right thing. I see other studios in stratas that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. There's a lot of those, and I'm seeing those really starting to get priced down a little bit now, but again, not interested. Go after the best, and there's a number of stratas right now, including me. I've got one listed that is a good quality strata, maybe one of the best in downtown, in my opinion, that's offering pretty good value at $1,000 a square foot. But we'll see where it goes this winter as well. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.